life is to give. So you will appreciate that we have to be discussing this, or I'll be talking about this for 1 hour. Just life is to give. What is there in the topic? Okay, life is to give, it's give. What is the problem? If you carefully analyze, is one of the most fascinating subjects. Khalil Gibran writes about giving. In fact, when you read Khalil Gibran about what is giving, you think it's very simple. Swamiji, whenever anybody comes, I just give whatever they ask, maybe something more. Or I have a charitable foundation, I give all the time. But the way he discusses giving, I can't do justice and I can't bring that subject. It'll take me, in my classroom, I take about 1 hour to explain what these concepts are. In short, he's saying, to give you tidbits here and there, you should not get pleasure in giving. You should not get displeasure in giving. You should not have the feeling that I have given endless. I'm not doing justice. It goes, at the end of the day, you feel better not to give. So, it's one of the most fascinating discussions. So, we'll be touching upon a few salient points on what is to give, life is to give. Now, fundamentally, life, when we say life is to give, you'll find giving pleases a person. Taking, aggrandizing, displeases a person. The fundamental point is, you notice this in children. If you watch a child in the kindergarten, the child doesn't know anything. One type of children, they have a very attractive pencil or pen given by uncle, and the other child looks at it and immediately picks it up and says, "You like it? You like it? Take it, take it, take it." There's a smile on the face. Another child, he just inquires, a neighboring child inquires, "What is that you got? That's mine, don't touch it." There's a frown. Children can't pretend. When there is the act of giving, there's a smile. When the act of taking, there's a frown. Same thing happens to whatever you do in life. So, 95% of the world don't give. They want to take. What are you looking for? Discount, discount, discount. Everything you want discount. Buy 2, 1 free. Everything discount. They come along the road from after the highway, when you come to Pune, you find some hawkers selling peru. Peru, no? We call it. These fruits. Fellow pulls up in a Mercedes Benz. I deliberately go behind him. See what's happening. The whole lot of them bargaining with that lady. Whole day she's in the sun, selling pears which you want. bargain, 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 then till she says, go away, I can't give you anything less. Till then you bargain and give. How much do you save? I don't know. See, we are practicing among our little group in the ashram, and we are spreading this word around. Life is to give. So whenever we ask, we also ask, what is the price? Oh, it's bahut high. I said, chalo yaar. She says, from 25 to 22 she makes. We give 35 and walk out. See, what I'm trying to say is, by saving all that, it will not be 1,000th of your bypass bill. The bypass that you give is because of scrounging. You understand? If you had given all that, there's a tremendous saving. You don't understand that. So, 95% of the world don't give charity. I'm not complaining. I'm only analyzing for you, for what these ideas are thrown to you. You pick up whatever you want, discard whatever you want. It's a buffet of thoughts. You understand? You take. I'm not imposing any ideas. But the fact remains that 95% don't give. They want to take. And that 5% to give charity, this is the most interesting part. They give charity, the entire 5% do unintelligent charity. There is no intelligent charity at all. I've written a letter to Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, those fellows there. They are giving is not only material things. The spirit of giving must be there, charitable disposition. Others are listening, I should not disturb them, is another charity. You understand? So, 5%, I'm not criticizing them. And those 2 persons are coming to India to teach us charity. It's a big joke. So we don't have poor homes. We don't have Father's Day, Mother's Day, Father-in-law Day, Mother-in-law Day, Son-in-law Day, Son-in-law. Why? Because it's constant giving. We don't have to fix one day in a year to give. And they are telling us what giving is. So anyway, there is unintelligent charity, which doesn't go to the causes that it's meant for. And you get a satisfaction that you're given. So therefore, friends, the first obligation in life is to give. Prophet Muhammad says, he is best among you who is best at repaying. He is best among you who is best at repaying. This is Prophet Muhammad's words. When I read that first, maybe 60 years back, my family has never taken a loan. My grandfather, father, and myself have never taken a loan. So I was satisfied. Oh, I don't have to repay because I've never taken. Then suddenly it occurred to me that what he's talking is something different. All your lifetime you've been taking. Huh? The day you're born, you're given the mother's milk, not 1 week before, not 1 week after. It's ordered. You're given oxygen to breathe. How many of you have paid oxygen bills? Huh? Your blood pressure is maintained, your blood sugar is maintained, everything going on meticulously. You bruise yourself even in sleep, forces come and mend it. You've been receiving and receiving and receiving. So you must learn that art of repaying, because you're paid already. It took me ages at least months to understand what he was saying. So it is a fundamental obligation to give. Give back what we have taken. You're not doing a favor. It's not only blood pressure, it's temperature is maintained. If the temperature has gone few degrees up and down, you won't be sitting here. Pressure has gone up, you won't be sitting here. Not only inside, outside. Everything is maintained for your sustenance, for your welfare. Leave aside gratitude. You'll have to repay that. Beautifully indicated by Prophet Muhammad. So, you got to give. But the problem is, we don't want to give. Oliver Goldsmith says, all the nakedness of the world can be clad by the trimmings of the vein. Whatever you don't want, if you part, there won't be poverty in the world. That's what he says, Oliver Goldsmith. You got it? The nakedness of the indigent world may be clothed by the trimmings of the vein. What you do not want. I've known some families which have kept something in the loft, electronic items in the loft, 7 years unpacked. Have you ever heard of that? This is a Guinness book. You buy it, just put it. Buy it, put it. What you don't want if you part. You know, I have some business seminar for businessmen from all over the world. They come once a year for a 5-day retreat in the ashram. This is going on, the top businessmen in the world. It's a big organization. So I was talking about this, why, as I said, the idea is to give, not to take, etc. So, what you do not want, you must part. Okay, you keep whatever you want. So, very casually I asked somebody there in the front, hey, how many watches do you have? The moment I asked him, he went under the table. He went under the table. And everybody is looking at him. Swamiji is asking a simple question, how many watches do you have? I could have asked any one of you. The fellow went away. Then I said, don't worry, he's not answering. I asked another fellow, how many watches do you have? He said, 5. You have 5 wrists? Are you putting in the legs also? Why do you have 5 watches? Oh, Swami, never occurred to me. He said, never occurred to me that I'm keeping 5 watches, 5 watches. And that's not the point. Next morning, that fellow whom I asked the question, now there are so many, 60, 70 people, I don't know who is who, you know. He came, he took an appointment and came to me and said, yes, what can I do for you, sir? I didn't realize that he was the person that I asked, you know. He said, you knew it. You knew it. I said, what are you talking about? I know what I know, but I don't know what you're talking about. No, you know it, Swamiji. You are everything. You know everything. You know it. I said, what? I said, excuse me, sir. I do not know what you're talking about. No, you asked me a question. I said, every day I'm asking 25 questions. I don't know which question you're talking about. I genuinely didn't remember what he was talking about. You asked me a question, how many watches you have? I said, yes, I asked him, you went under the table, I can't waste time. I asked another fellow and continued. He said, no, Swamiji, I know you know. I said, I don't know how many watches you have. I don't know whether you have a watch at all. So he said, 55 watches. Have you ever heard of that? I wanted to put it in Guinness Book, 55 watches. And I was a house guest in Johannesburg, South Africa, in his house. One of the finest human beings I've met. He's a very fine human being. The fellow doesn't know these things, you know. He said 55 watches. And the cheapest watch is $12,000. So, showroom doesn't have that. He said, Swamiji, I've understood what you said. Take the whole lot. I said, straight I'll go to the jail. You asking me to go to jail? What do you ask me? I said, what do I do with all the watches? So, what you don't want, trimmings of the vein, that fellow has understood so well, you have no idea. Gem of a fellow, but he doesn't know. That's what I'm trying to educate people. What you do not need, first you part with it, then we'll come to what you have. Swami Ramatirtha, one of the greatest saints that this country has produced, Ramatirtha, even among the spiritual lobbies, nobody knows him. Very, very unfortunate. This is country. You pitch up somebody whom you don't know the value of it, and the greatest men have gone unsung, unheard. He died in 1906. I have no connection whatsoever with him, in the sense that I was born much later. But he spoke in the United States, and what he spoke was recorded. That's the only record we have of his knowledge. And he died at the age of 32 while he was swimming across the Ganges. And that was the greatest soul this country has produced. And in 1902, Maharaja of Terigal gave him 2 lakhs to start a mission. He said, every mission is my mission. Therefore, we don't hear of him. He didn't take the money. One of the things he said is, the way to gain anything is to lose it. The way to gain anything is to lose it. Chhod do, you get it. Pagdo, you lose it. This is the law. And you are pagdoing everything. You lose it. Just leave it alone, it comes. You understand? This is an impeccable law that he said. The way to gain it. You know the color. An object is blue in color because it gives away blue. Do you all know that? It's physics, not philosophy. All other colors it takes, it absorbs, it gives away blue. What it gives away, it has. So what you give away, you will have, in the sense that spirit of giving. Anybody who has the spirit of giving has abundance. Look at nature. Nature gives its abundance. The earth gives vegetation, it has abundance. Infinite capacity to give. The sun gives vitality, it has infinite capacity to give. What you give, you have. This is a law. But the problem is, we have not tasted it. And we have a terrific feeling of fear, displeasure, repugnance to give, fear to give. How can we give? What will happen if I give away everything? Huh? See, when Moses went up to the mount in the Old Testament, the voice of God said, Moses, there was a snake, live snake. He said, hold it. It is a live snake. Moses hesitated. How can he hold a live snake? He hesitated. Then said, hold it, Moses. The voice of God said, hold it, and Moses plunged and held that snake. Instantly it became the great staff of Moses. Those who have read the Old Testament know what I'm talking about. The great staff of Moses performed miracles after miracles. When his followers did not have water to drink, he tapped the rock, water flowed out of the rock. When he had to cross the the ocean, he tapped the ocean and the path came. Meaning, impossible things could be done once you make that sacrifice. But that sacrifice is the problem. How can I give? It doesn't mean that whatever you give a check to everybody which will bounce. No, not that. It's not that way. That spirit of giving, spirit. When you open the door, you say, après vous, after you. That's all. From today onwards, after you. You see, I was coming down Malabar Hill. One day, I still drive. Office time, bumper traffic. A fellow is trying to get out of the building. Nobody would give him space. How they come is inch by inch till it hits, then only he backs up. What is will you gain any time? I don't understand. 2 seconds? Huh? So I was seeing this tragedy from the top. So when I came to the building, I pulled up. I said, go. 2 fellows from the back came and said, "Kya pagal aadmi hai? Kya karta tum to?" I was scared. Just gave him I can't argue with him. I said, life is to give. Simply giving a fellow a passage. This country, no other country does that. Only a human being has the capacity to serve and sacrifice. No other creature can do it. If you have 2 dogs playing in your house, they are so frisky, they're playing all the time, so full of fun. But if you make the mistake of bringing the food of the dogs in one plate, the bigger one says, You got to bring it in 2 plates. No dog in the world, even in England or America, will say, after you. It will not say that. Only a human being has got this capacity. And if he doesn't do it, he's not a human being. Friends, you don't have the taste of it. I don't blame you. The moment you taste it, it's an addiction, I tell you. Giving is an addiction. You've seen so many parables and parables in the Puranas. They gave and gave. And life is to give, never to take. And anybody who has the power never uses it. When we don't have the power, they use it here. See, there was a Pativrata. Pativrata means a very devoted lady, a devoted wife, married a Swami in a jungle. A very young lady married to serve that Swami. That's a parable. So a prince came in a horse riding in the jungle. He saw this lady, a ravenous beauty. I could not believe such a beautiful lady in a jungle. She went to the pond to collect water. And she collected water, and from the horse he said, "Whoever you are, whatever you be, I am the prince of the state, I am prepared to marry you." And he proposed to her. She didn't even look back. She said, "I am already married." "What does it matter?" he said. "You will be the future queen." She didn't say anything. She started walking. And this fellow got down from the horse and started walking. Didn't mean to harm her. He genuinely wanted her companionship. He genuinely wanted to make her the future queen. And so very politely he followed her. And she moved. She didn't look back. She moved. And he came closer. She dropped the pitcher of water and started running. And he started running, not to disturb her, but only to plead. And the story is that she ran, and exhausted, she fell down and swooned. The fellow felt so bad, so bad. He didn't mean to harm her at all. So he brought some water and sprinkled on her face to revive her. And the story is, she opened her eyes, and there he was standing. Instantly, he was reduced to ashes. He was burnt to ashes. He revived her, he opened the eyes. As soon as the eyes saw him, he was reduced to ashes. This is the power she had. And she ran and ran, not to save herself, to save that fellow. Where is that and where are we? Little power you have, you use it. Little power. Some people without power try to use and get into trouble. This is the world today. And what we have been preaching in the world, we don't understand. So therefore, the taste of it, we don't have the taste. And once you get the taste, see, there's another parable, I'm reminded of a situation like this. A king wanted to see a person of renunciation that we are talking about. He told the minister, "Can you find one?" He said, India, everybody is full of men of renunciation. So he went searching. He could not find a single fellow. Something they want for the ashram, even the swamis. So he could not find anybody who has renounced everything. So the king was hell-bent on getting it. So he called out of a young fellow and said, "Look here, I'll give you a large sum of money if you put on an act." Then that young fellow said, "Look here, sir, I don't kill anything, I don't do all this." No, nothing like that. You got to sit at a place. Anybody offering you anything, you should say, "No, thank you, take it away, take it away." "For this you'll give me money?" "Yes." "But if you take anything, you lose that and lose this money." Understood? And the fellow was dressed up like a Shankaracharya, and they were sitting under a tree. And the next day, the king asked, "Have you found one?" "I told you, you see, yonder there, under the tree, there's a fellow there already." The king was mightily impressed. So he took the retinue with him, his queen and the children and everybody, and one tray of money, one tray of clothes, and one tray of food. This is what you should do when you meet a Swami. Never mind, doesn't matter. You've lost the tradition. So he brought one tray. He came near the Swami and said, prostrated to him, and said, "Maharaj, in my state, I am living in a palace, you are living under a tree. This is ridiculous, Maharaj. Please, I brought some money. We'll build a small ashram for you." And Take it away. Some clothes for you. Some food for you. Take it away. Because the minister was there, seeing. And the king prostrated again, the queen prostrated, and the minister was standing because it's a fake, this fellow. And when the king looked at him, he also prostrated. You see, we have to escape the situation. So the fellow went. And retinue went back to the palace. He took the money, rushed back to the boy and said, "Boy, Amitabh Bachchan and Shah Rukh Khan must learn from you, man. They have perfect acting, huh? Chalo, yeah. You are the next hero." And they said, he gave that money to him. He said, "What is this?" "The money that I promised you, the natak is over, you are free, I am free." Take it away. Hey, listen, pagal admi, I told you this, the natak is finished, the drama is finished, you be free, I free. Take it. Hey, old man, sit down, he said. You don't understand. 10 minutes I pretended to renounce, to give. The king fell at my feet, queen fell, you fell at my feet, man. What will I not get if I really renounced? Take it away. The taste of it. The taste of it. No, don't try under a tree and police will catch you. All these business you don't try. I'm telling you the principle behind, only that attitude, true giving heals the doni also. If you don't give the right way, unintelligent way, it not only hurts the other person, it hurts you. This is what I said. 95% don't give. By 5% give the wrong things. It hurts them, it hurts other people. So in Penang, in Malaysia, I was with a family, the doctor there, very eminent doctor he was. Then he said, he was showing me pictures of his sister, widowed sister and nephew. The sister in Hyderabad was widowed. His husband died. So this fellow who's got enormous wealth, he started giving money to the sister to look after because her husband had died. And some people were complaining to him, "You're giving wrongly." He says, "This is my sister, my business, who are you to tell me?" When I went there, he showed me pictures of the sister and the nephew, drug addicts in a terrible, terrible state. You understand? So you must know where you're giving, what you're giving. You get the satisfaction, I've given. I will ask. So it's not so easy, that's what I'm trying to tell you. So it was exercise which is totally futile. He was regretting and he had to very painfully withdraw the whole thing. Giving is an art, is a technique. It transforms a person. Victor Hugo, a great author, he writes a book called The Les Miserables. Les Miserables, in that book, there's a movie also, there's a convict who escaped from the prison. And he was trying to find some place to live, stay for the night. All the houses were locked except one. He entered. There was a priest writing, studying, and he heard the door open. He turned back. He saw this fellow convict. At that time, the maid had announced the food is ready for dinner. He said, "Place the dinner for 2 people." And he invited the convict, "Come and have dinner with me." He didn't say anything. He was starving. So he sat, the priest and the convict sat along the table. Not a word was spoken. At the end of the dinner, he told the convict, look here, there's a guest room here. If you like to use the bed for the night, you're welcome. And he retired. That's exactly what he wanted. And the tradition in that house was, whenever a guest came, food was served in silver plates. So the maid served the food in silver plates, washed them, and brought it to the guest room where the plates were kept. The shelf was in the guest room, and this fellow was awake. In the middle of the night, and the maid left. In the middle of the night, he took the plates and ran away. First thing in the morning, the maid comes, finds this fellow missing. He finds the silver plates missing. She screams to the priest, Father, Father, the silver plates have gone. He said, replace them with copper. No hassles at all. Silver plates gone, replace them with copper. He was still studying. He did not care what she was saying. So he said, 10 minutes later, 2 policemen caught this fellow, brought him, pushed him on the ground. He said, Father, we found this fellow running away with the plates. We knew it was from this house. Caught him. That fellow did not speak a word. He was on the floor. The good man, went up to this policeman and said, why did you do this? I presented him the plates last night. I gave him the plates last night. Oh my God, oh my God. Oh. And the policeman went to the convict and said, why didn't you tell us? Why one word you should have told us? He didn't tell because he stole it. They apologized to the priest, they apologized to the convict and left. And on the table, there were 2 candlestick stands made of solid silver. He didn't see that. Solid silver candlestick stands. And he took them by the hand from the table and came to the convict. He was lying on the floor. Son, remember, life is to give, not to take. Remember, life is to give, not to take. The convict took the candlestick stands and left. The rest of the story you must read. He became one of the greatest saints, one of the greatest karma yogis. And he served and served the serf community. He was so prosperous. Everybody looked after him. And in the end of the book, he has that 2 candlestick stands and gives it to the next person whom he trusts and says, remember, life is to give, not to take. So therefore, friends, a little practice here and there. Get the taste of it. Just to give. I'm not asking you to do charity. Everybody giving. It's not that. That attitude of sharing. Attitude of helping. Nature helps. Everything in nature helps. Follow nature. The sun gives vitality. It has no motives. The earth gives vegetation. It has no motives. The rose gives fragrance. It has no motives. The nightingale sings. It has no motives. Only human beings have motives and motives and motives. And human beings have seminars on stress. Why do you have motives? Just give. Develop that attitude, Whenever you give a little more. That attitude, you may not afford. Swamiji, I can't afford this thing. Anything else you want, you can afford. But just that attitude. So in the Bhagavad Gita, there are, in the 4th chapter, 28th verse, if you have the book that I have commented on, read that, because other books don't carry this commentary. That's why I'm telling you. It's not that you should read only my commentary, but there it gives 4 types of yajnas, he says. 4 types of yajnas. Giving. Dravya yajna, tapo yajna, Dravya yajna, tapo yajna, dhana, yoga yajna, swadhyaya jnana yajna. Dravya yajna means yajna, giving of material things. Tapo yajna, tapas, physical. Yoga yajna, mental and intellectual. Swadhyaya yajna, spiritual. So there are 4 types of giving. As I said, it's not a simple thing. You could give material things. This is also giving. You have 4 loaves of bread, 1 loaf you give. That is giving. But you have 1 loaf of bread, if you give, it's sacrificial to you. You are sacrificing. You have only 1 loaf. Sir, a lady has a party in the house. Husband phoned and said there are 8 people coming for dinner and she's got to prepare. She's happy to do that. She's preparing. Material things. So, a friend of hers says, look here, I know you have a party, I can send you the sweet. Don't cook the sweet, I'll send you for you. That is a help, material help. The physical help is, look here, I am free the whole day, I can come and help you. Until 7 o'clock, guests are coming at 7:30. I can help you. This is physical help, which is far superior to give a plate. You all understand that? So there is material gift, there is tapo yajna. You put yourself into tapas, strain to give, physical giving. Then you give yoga yajna, emotional or intellectual help. Sir, where are we? This is Pune. In Bombay, I know a few people, remarkable people, youngsters. They go from hospital to hospital. They find out who are the destitute people. Destitute means there are no father, mother, no brother, sister, no wife, no children. They are come alone in a general ward. They find out from the hospital also helps them because they know. They bring flowers, they bring fruits, they bring whatever it is, sit with them for the whole evening, talk to them. You're all right. They give an idea. The fellow is sick, very, very sick. And they talk to them. Don't give their identity because that person has to be grateful, return it. So they don't give their identity. This set of boys and girls go from one hospital to another, and next day somebody else comes. Emotional service, which is far superior than physical service. Far superior than Emotional service is knowledge, giving knowledge. Is far higher than just emotions. So, giving in the 28th verse of chapter 4, the Bhagavad Gita, it says, there is dravya yajna, there is tapo yajna, yoga yajna, swadhyaya jnana yajna. Swadhyaya jnana yajna is to develop yourself, to become spiritually evolved, so that you become a beacon for others to follow. You don't give anything, you shed light everywhere. As soon as you get the light. Therefore, friends, what type of a giving? What is giving? It's not that simple. See, if you give material things, you can give $1 million. It's copper coins. If you give physical service, it's silver coins. If you give emotional and intellectual, you give help, it is gold coins. If you give swadhyaya jnana, if you give you the self, the knowledge of the reality, it is not comparable to anything that you give. So these are the ways of giving. Some years ago, I was invited by the Rotary Club. Rotary Club, they have what is known as I don't know how often they have a combined, about 2,500 Rotarians join. It's called, no Rotarians here? Huh? Some conference, it's called a particular type of conference. It is all over the world they have Rotarians. And international, we had it here in Bombay, and 2,500 people, and 200 delegates from abroad, including the chairman of the International Rotary. And they asked me to talk on Seva Paramo Dharmaha. Seva Paramo Dharmaha. You know, Seva, service is the greatest of all. I told them, in English. So I said, listen, I greatly admire what you fellows are doing. Leave it at that. I really, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate, but don't ask me to speak in your organization. Swamiji, the president, called me, came to me and said, who else can we ask? You are the authority. You are the speaker. Whole world is enchanted by your speech. You must speak. Who else? I said, listen, I know how to speak, but you will not like my speech. Swamiji, there's a limit in what you're saying. Who doesn't like your speech? I said, listen, I'm warning you, please, but I will not compromise. When I speak the truth. Of course, you can't speak anything else except the truth. That is why we're calling you. That fellow forced me. Forced me. I knew he is in trouble, and I knew I could be in trouble. So I asked my folks, my boys, keep the car ready here. I'm not joking, seriously. Keep the car ready, and when I signal, start the car, keep ready, I'll jump into the car, we'll shoot, because they may come with lathis in the... How much I tried, he said, you must speak. I said, okay. Seva Paramo Dharmaha. This is the topic that I've been given by the Rotary Club here to speak to you. And you people are doing great service. And I told the president that you are giving great service, and it is. How did it all start? In America, many, many centuries back, they found that lot of medicines were going waste, lot of food was going waste, and to keep the prices going, they dumped it into the sea. So one set of fellows started thinking, why should we waste this? And they collected it and gave it to the needy. Could be in that country, could be some other country. All the things that they could, extra that they had, instead of dumping into the sea. And here in this country, there is no food to eat. There's no medicines. People are under poverty. And what service, what are you collecting, what are you giving? They're all looking at each other. You understand? Is a madness going on here? See, blindly copying those fellows. What are you going to give? And then I said, it's a tradition in this country. I quoted the 28th thing. There are qualities. Some centuries back, they said material service again. You're still under material service. Far superior material service is physical service. Far superior physical service is emotional, intellectual service. Far superior to that is spiritual service. What service are you guys doing? Huh? You're still in the age of Stone Age. You're living in Stone Age. You must move with time. You must develop higher qualities of giving. And what the Rotary is doing, bus stop stand. There's a bus stop, without that stand it will be all right. So a bus stop stand and this stand, that, I'm not criticizing the thing, but I'm only saying there's qualities of service. It's not easy to understand. You've got to give qualities, high qualities. And therefore, friends, you step up in your quality. Same old material service you're doing for centuries. I would recommend. Thank you very much. And I ran. You understand? I was about to run, I'm sorry. I told the signal. Then this international chairman got up and all the other fellows got up. I was about to run, standing ovation. The fellow said, this we will try to implement. I don't think they have implemented anything. So this is not so easy. First of all, the qualities of service, so beautifully explained in that verse in the 4th chapter of the Gita. So therefore, what the world needs is not giving. That's the best part of it. It's not just social work. Everywhere there's social work. And people are collecting money and saying, this is poor, orphanages, give them poor. These are suffering, give them poor. This is social work. What the world needs, that's what I wrote to Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. What the world needs is not social service, social consciousness. Now there's a world of difference between social work and social consciousness. And it'll take me 1 hour to explain that. I'm not explaining that. I'm leaving you with that thought. Is that thing there, social work and social consciousness? You understand at least these words. Social work is what people are doing, if at all they do. I said that 5% are doing social work. But nobody is developing social consciousness. Social work is necessary only where there is no social consciousness, for heaven's sake. You have your servants in the house. You have 2, 3 servants. Have they got a proper house? Have they got the children educated? Have they got a proper home? That awareness is social consciousness. If everybody is aware of social consciousness, there's no need for social work. Social work is needed today because we are not socially conscious. People who are dependent on you, who are at your feet, serving you. 30, 40 years they serve. They have no house to live. And you're living one house here, one house there, one house here. All the houses are rotting. You have as many houses as you want. But are they provided with the minimum? This is social consciousness. You go to a party and you drink and eat there till 1 o'clock in the night. Has that fellow had food? You don't have to serve food in a 5-star hotel. I said, better, are your food organized? The fellow waits till 1 o'clock. That is all right. He's paid for it, he's happy to do that. But has he had food? The thought is social consciousness. Is everybody socially consciousness, there's no need for social work. There's no need for giving. If we have that attitude in the ashram that we are living, believe me, we don't have that sort of funds that ashrams have. But we have 14 servants, all of them are provided houses. All of them in their villages, they're either bought or renovated. Every one of them. And they are given X amount of money and they say to them, and they say, whenever you want to go, you can go. So we're not holding them. This is a minimum. This is no use talking to the world and say, our own servants are not taken care of. Our own children, whatever it is. That attitude of serving. See, I live in Malabar. I have an apartment there, 30 floors. The building has 30 floors, 100 apartments. All are multimillionaires. The only pauper is myself. I'm the only pauper there. You see, the security staff, the people there, the servants, the zemedars and all that, every day there is, I see the fellow from pizza delivery, this delivery, they come. Every day they're delivering. They can't afford it, these fellows. So 52 fellows, we order 52 pizzas to those fellows once in 3-4 months. Only fellow doing who's a pauper. I'm just giving you one idea. It's not that. Everything in the winter we give blankets and things like that. Only person doing. Imagine 100 fellows doing that. Minimum service. They will be richer than us. That thought of sharing. In one of the houses that I went some time back, they gave me a chocolate box. I always have that chocolate box they gave me for your students, Swamiji. Swiss chocolates, big box, as big as this table it was. So thank you very much. I went home and looked at the backside. Expired 2.5 years back. Kept for 2.5 years, nobody to give the Swami, and all the children, they won't be here today. They would all be expired. Give it with grace. If each one here, suppose in this conversation, what is the maximum response? Very good speech, Swamiji, what very good speech. I'm not looking for certificates. If one or two, half a dozen people take to this, it'll spread, it'll spread. You don't have to go on giving pizzas and all that, what else to give Swamiji. That attitude of sharing, what you don't need in the house, part with it for the people. And everybody develops that. This was this country. It was a golden era. All the countries came to loot us. This was India. Not anymore. We can't afford to lose our culture. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All the countries came. The Europeans came. The English fellows came. Everybody come to loot our country. We said, it's a buffet. Whatever you want, take it. Because we have no value for money. Today we are going begging bowls to them for loans. It's ridiculous. Just develop that culture, that understand that spirit of sharing, of giving, the whole life becomes worth living. Thank you very much.